What's up, degenerates? Mad Merrigan here for 𝗨𝗱 Sports, and once again I am joined by Joe Value and 𝗥𝗲𝗍. How's things, lads?
Not too bad, Paddy. Not too bad at all now. A bit unlucky today, but got nice to get the winner on the board.
Absolutely. Just touched off in the first race of one of your selections, and then getting a nice winner. I suppose you have to wait till the end of the day, but better late than never. And 𝗥𝗲𝗍 as well. I think you were both in the one camp. As I said in a post before, Joe got the value and 𝗥𝗲 bashed the bookies. Surefire for you today, 𝗥𝗲.
Yeah, I got the second jab of AstraZeneca there a few hours ago, and apparently I flinched when she was putting in the injection. So it was really sore, and she says to me, "God, you'll be sore tomorrow." And I was after back a noon stare, and I'll tell you, I was sore at the time. But Surefire took the pain away, so I'm happy out now.
Yeah, really, look, got messy in the last furlong, but in fairness, very, look, the classy type. Right, let's just leave that there then, and we'll just touch on the Gold Cup for a minute. What a performance, Mark Johnson's horse, Subjectivist, really dominant. You know, what did you make of it? And Princess Zoe coming back to a bit of form, staying on nicely up the straight. And Stradivarius, I suppose, you know, just time maybe catching up on him, but still ran okay. He was a little bit far back at times for us. What did you think, 𝗥𝗲𝗍?
Yeah, just a great ride from the front from Joe Fanning, a typical Mark Johnson stayer, you know, out in front, got the fractions right and pulled away. A bit disappointed with Stradivarius, but probably age is catching up, you know, and a lot of miles on the clock. So Prince Zoe, a great race ran by her in comparison. You know, the ground, I thought that she wanted it, you know, soft or bottomless, like, but great run on for her, I thought, without a doubt.
Yeah, definitely nice to see her coming back. Joe Value, yourself, what did you make of the Mark Johnson trained horse? And where does he go from here? On to maybe the Goodwood Cup or something like that? Very dominant.
Yeah, very dominant indeed. Yeah, very impressive. And he's just a young stayer going places. Goodwood Cup, he'd definitely be the next port of call. And you know, the way Mark Johnson horses around Goodwood, he's going to take plenty of beating there as well.
Yeah, they're just, I don't know what it is, lads. Every year in Goodwood, these horses are 10 pounds better. I don't know. It's just year in and year out. So really, really interesting. And another mention, I thought the horse of Aidan O'Brien's ran really well today. So really excited. Roman Empire at 14 to 1. I suppose the favourite, the ground was definitely, they were happy to run. So 𝗏𝗏, or how do you pronounce it? 𝗏𝗏𝗏. Still very impressed. Although he interfered with the second, I think he was still on the day by far, maybe just the best. I think there wasn't a lot, but he was definitely better on the day.
He was. He just had that bit too much toe from you.
Yeah, really interesting. Right, so sure, let's leave that behind, lads, and let's move on. So to day 4, and we start off with the Albany. So, like anything again, the young fillies. 𝗥𝗲𝗍, let's come to you first. What are you thinking? Anything standing out?
There's been 3 favourites in the last 10 years. There was 2 4-to-1 favourites and a 7-to-4 favourite. Now, an interesting stat is all winners have been drawn higher than stall 12. And the last time it was in under stall 10 was in 2008. And they're all fairly well fancied horses. There's only been 1 20-to-1 and 2 16-to-1s. All the rest have been in single digits. So throw all them cards into the puddle, and I come out with 𝗏𝗏𝗏. I know it was cut on the ground, the last of it ran, but I think this is the sort of horse that can go on any ground, and that was my selection. And sort of a mention as well for George Bowie's horse, 𝗥𝗲𝗀. He knew his job first time out at Newmarket, but the time was a bit slow. It was a second and a half slower than the average that day. So, but maybe he might pick up a little. He won by 5.5 or 6 that day. He looks pretty good. But that'd be me.
And yourself, Joe Value, is there any value to be found? 𝗏𝗏𝗏 was very dominant in Goodwood, and a lot of, you know, kind of the talking horse now, I suppose. it definitely, as you said to me earlier, a little keen early on, but really kind of quickened away and finished off nicely. She's into 100 to 30 now. Are you siding with her? Is there anything at a bigger price? Like Hello You was impressive in Wolverhampton, ran away with a race. 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗂𝗧 being rock solid, and I thought dominant enough win at Epsom. Then we go to prettiest 𝗍𝗲𝗁, gone into 8-1 now. So out of them, anything standing out?
Yeah, 𝗏𝗏𝗏 is definitely the standout filly in this. Like her performance in Goodwood was incredible, really. She was very free early on and just so strong at the death. But Mickey could be on the ball with 𝗍𝗲𝗁. The draw is so important as well in these straight 6 furlong races. You know, I backed that Go Bears Go in the first race today. He was drawing 4, so he ended up on the far side. If he had been over the near side, he probably would have won 2 or 3 lengths. You know, so draw is very important, and they're given a lot of rain. The two ones that are proven on soft ground are 𝗏𝗏𝗏 and 𝗍𝗲𝗁. So I mean, I'm not going to oppose either of them. I probably might do a reverse forecast, but it's a brilliant race. There's a lot of very good fillies in it. The whole lot of them are entitled to improve. I don't think I'll be getting too stuck into anything, but I might just chance that reverse forecast and see how I go from there.
Right, very interesting. Look, as you all know, I did tip up 𝗍𝗲𝗁 there on Monday. Now the G2 have gone for, I think I changed my mind. Look, no, she's a filly well drawn tomorrow. Obviously, they thought she was on Tuesday. Obviously, they thought she was very good. They didn't run her ground a little quick. They're coming here. Looks like they're going to get rain. So she's definitely, I suppose, the one of a lot of interest if the ground did come up and they got the rain. But for me, do you know what? So I'll take a chance each way on 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗏. George Bookie, definitely a man that knows how to get these 2-year-olds ready. I tipped her up when she won in Bath, or was it Brighton the time before last. And then she came out and won in Epsom, and it was a real dominant win in Epsom. I just thought she was on the pace. She was not in a battle, but she definitely didn't get it her own way early, and she really hit the line strong. So I think she's well drawn on Mickey's stats. She's drawn in 12. So look, she might give 𝗍𝗲𝗁 the lead through the race, but you look, I'll stick with 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗏. So look, she owes me nothing. I've been on her twice, and she's won twice. So definitely a filly I like, and she's on the up. And you know what? Being by Galileo Gold, she might handle a bit of soft ground if it did come. Not so sure, but we'll see. Right, we'll move on then to the King Edward. So, Mickey D and Joe Value. I suppose, Joe, we'll just come to you first on this one. William Haggas at the top of the market is 𝗏𝗀𝗏, or however you pronounce it, 2-1. Tom Marquand, the Mediterranean, Ryan Moore, second favourite, and a horse I really like, Title, David Egan and Roger Varian at 9-2, third favourite. Anything here, Joe Value, that is the wrong price or the right price?
I'd say he's short enough, and he's short because he beat the Derby winner in his previous start in Sandown. Now, the Derby winner, 𝗥𝗲𝗁𝗏, whatever you call him, he lost the shoe that day in Sandown, and obviously that might have affected his performance somewhat. But I just thought the favour was a bit short. He was 25-1 to win the last day at Sandown, and now he's like 7-4-ish to win a very good race, Group 2 here at Ascot. The one I really like is Title. Won't matter what way the ground goes. I know he has a high head carriage, but he's definitely an improving horse, and I'm all over this lad. In the third favourite, the Mediterranean, he was second last time. The horse that was third was called Ruling. Ruling was hammered early on the week, and the form is suspect for me. The fourth favourite, Yabir, if it goes a bit soft, that might suit him. I'm all over this title, to be honest with you.
Mickey D, give us the stats, however good or bad they are. We're ready.
There's one last year by Pile Driver. He was 18-1 for Bill Muir. 2 favourites in the last 10 years. All household named trainers have trained the winner of this, and Michael Stout is the only one to train it twice. All the winners have been fairly classy and fairly well to the top of the betting. The favourites won the classic trial in Sandown. He bet the Derby winner. He's the form horse. The trends and the stats go his way, so it's not very original, but I'll have to tip him.
All right, fair enough. So around the 2-1 mark now. Listen, all these horses' names, some of them are hard to pronounce. So from now on, lads, I'm just going to say the Haggis horse. It makes life,
Exactly, yeah.
it makes life a
Easier.
lot easier. You'd want to be speaking Dutch to manage some of them. I just got, there's some of them I am incapable of saying as I left school at 12. Right, let's move on. Or actually, before I move on. What?
I was going to say, did you miss that day in school when they were pronouncing that horse's name?
Honest to God,
Anyway,
I spent more time on the form book than I did in the school books. That's what has me here.
Hey, that's what has us all finished. Right, let's just touch on title for me as well. Look, our guest last night, David Egan, I'd love to see him get a winner as well. Absolutely brilliant. So I think this horse, being by Camelot, definitely going to improve again, and looked raw enough at times, but the way it hit the line the last day, it just looks like a horse that's ready to really show a lot more, and stepping up to a stiffer test will definitely suit. So Yarmouth the last day, you know, I think the stiffer test at Ascot will suit, and they put away a decent enough filly the last day and put it away pretty smart. So I like title 305 tomorrow, the King Edward. Right, Joe Value, let's move on to the Commonwealth Cup. I see we have as a 𝗍𝗍𝗂𝗧 or a French filly, 𝗍𝗍𝗀. We'll just say the French filly, right? The French filly that's been winning in Chantilly, right? This filly is unbeaten. Joe, top of the market, 4-1. What do you think? We have the American horse, second favourite.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm not very strong on anything this race. I thought it was very tricky. You know, it's going to be, it's just a tight knit race for me, and I don't really have an opinion. I might as well be honest with you.
Mickey D, the floor is yours. The man that bashed the bookies today.
2 favourites in the last 6 years. It's only a 6 years going this race. Clive Cox won it last year with Golden Horde. Campanelli won the Wesley Ward horse. That won the Queen Mary last year. It beat Sacred, but it hasn't ran since the Breeders' Cup. And normally Ward gets, not that I couldn't look at it, I couldn't get any runs since. So normally Wesley Ward likes to get a run in Keeneland or before they come over. The French trader, I looked at his videos, looks good. Big, strong horse, a good sprinter. But it's not easy, you know, with these bloody weather forecasters, like they got it very wrong last night. I was looking at if there was a cut on the ground, he'd be my choice. But if it's top of the ground, I'd go with the Condon Miss Amulet. That was third in the Breeders' Cup. Lowest fast ground is about 25-1. So either one or the other, depending if the rain comes or if the rain stays away. So you want to be a bloody magician to know what's going on over there.
Yeah, see that, Mr. No one, they're saying, like you were saying, look, we won't even get into it anyway. But yeah, Miss Samuel at one time I thought looked like it might be a lot better. I thought it flattened out a bit. I thought she was going to be better than what she ended up showing. But anyway, I leave her there. I was taking 2 horses against the field. I like a Case of You. This horse is a big price. Ronnie Whelan in the saddle. And over 6 furlongs, it's unbeaten. It'll definitely handle a little bit of cutting the ground and sees out 6 very strong. I think Aidan McGuinness can do nothing wrong lately. No matter where he goes, these horses seem to just pull it out of the bag. So a really interesting runner. And then Jumbai as well. Eve Johnson Houghton, she had a winner already at the meeting. Charles Bishop in the saddle. This horse, the last day I tipped him up when he won. And I thought he's a horse that's definitely on the up. Whether he can scale to this height, we'll see. But around the 8-1, definitely, I'll take the 2 of them each way against the field. So really wide open affair, fair to say, lads.
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely wide up. So look, we'll move on swiftly to the coronation, and what a race this is, the Group 1. Some really, really high class fillies here. We have Mother Earth out to 4-1, so a week at the head of the betting. Pretty gorgeous, a very interesting one tomorrow, I think. Primo Bakeo, or whatever you pronounce it, the Ed Walker filly, very impressive in York, albeit I thought the favourite disappointed. She was lit up the whole race, so we'll forgive her that maybe. Empress Josephine, who won the Irish Guineas, and then we have our guest Mount November, really impressive winner of the German Guineas. Right, Mickey D, where does it lie? Any good news for us here?
Only 2 favourites in the last 10 years, 4 French winners, and Jessica Harrington has won 2 more, so that's 6 out of 10 gone. Mother Earth won the English 1,000 guineas. I backed to that day with Frankie on this, but I wasn't gone on the race. The form I don't think is as good as the Irish 1,000 guineas, and even though Empress Josephine won that, and Ryan Moore didn't ride either of those. That and he's on the other one now. So I'm going against what Ryan Moore is, and I'm on Heffernan on Empress Josephine. I thought the 1,000 guineas was stronger for.
Yeah, and she came home like a train. And I remember him saying after the race, he says, if I hadn't got held up by the 𝗦𝗂𝗃, and I think that stuck with me because Lord, she made up some run. Joe, what did you think of her in the Irish Guineas? I thought it was an impressive win because I think around 2 down, I think she met a small bit of, maybe not trouble, but just got held up a small.
Yeah, it was a big run, there's no doubt about it. She has to be respected tomorrow, but I'm going to give Pretty Gorgeous another chance. If any trainer deserves a bit of luck, it's definitely Joseph O'Brien. His horses are flying. He's just hitting the crossbar after crossbar. So it's Pretty Gorgeous. She kind of broke too well in the 1,000 guineas, and she was kept out on the flank. She couldn't get in. She was very free early on, and when he eventually got her in, she probably got a bit tired there as well. Look at her form from last year. Her form from last year beats any of these, I think, and her best form anyway. And I think she's strong enough there. Frankie riding her tomorrow. She'll do for me at around 4-1.
Yeah, look, she's actually a small point big. She's a half a point bigger, which is good news for any of her supporters. She's 9-2. Look, she's interesting. I'm just going to touch on a filly down here. This is a filly, Snow Lantern, right? I really like this filly, but I'm worried tomorrow the round course, and she got so lit up in York. But this is a very, very good filly. Like I didn't nap her up, but I tipped her up in York the last day, and I backed her when she won in Newbury. In Newbury, she was just wow. It was really breathtaking. And I thought to myself after Newbury, I'll put her down as a filly that could be top class. And I think if Sean Levy can get this filly relaxed and balanced tomorrow, she's going to run a massive race. Unfortunately, that's just the way the track on that round course, they're just not, if a horse is lit up at all, they just don't seem to be settling. There's a lot of trouble in running and things. But look, if she does settle, she's drawn in 2. Hopefully, I think then November might go forward from stall 1. She made all in the German Guinea. So if she can settle, look, I'm going to take a chance on her to outrun her odds. I know the top of the market, Pretty Gorgeous, but I know this filly, Snow Lantern, is high class, because even when she pulled that hard the last day, she wasn't beaten that far at all. And Sean Levy didn't, the last 10 yards or 12 yards, he eased up a little bit more. So the 5 lengths she was beaten would have been a lot, if he was hard on her, it would have been closer. So I really think she can definitely get a lot closer to the Ed Walker filly if she settles better. Whether that form is good enough or not, who knows? If it was the straight mile, I would really fancy her tomorrow. I really would. But I suppose there's nothing we can do. They'll hardly change it, will they? will you give them a ring there and see what the change from the round course after we get a few quid on?
Be handy, wouldn't it?
Right, let's leave it there, lads, and move on to the Sandringham. Right, this is an interesting filly's handicap. What are we thinking? Joe Value, top of the market, Aidan O'Brien, friendly. Ryan Moore, things just saying, not all cylinders flying for the Ballydoyle and Ryan Moore. Christina, Frankie Dettori, 𝗍𝗄𝗃 𝗀𝗏, Mark Crean having a good year. 𝗏𝗡, a filly I really like. Johnny Murta up £10 though for a good win the last time. What's here, Joe Value? Where does it lie?
Well, just another wide open one, and I did study it. I spent at least an hour on it, and the more I was looking at it, the more confusing I was getting. So my opinion is, if I'm not going to have a bet on it, I'm not going to give a tip, kind of a way. So, sorry lads, but I'm going to just step out of this one as well. I have a strong one now in the next race, I think, but I'm just stepping out of this one.
Mickey D, the man from out west, will you do us a favour and will you bash the bookies?
4 favourites in the last 10 years, but they weren't really strong favourites. 11-2, 9-2, 11-4, 4-1. It was won by a 33-1 shot last year. In fact, the last 2 years, Hayley Turner has won it both times on a 33-1 shot. And both times it was for Charlie Fellows. I came down on Mr. Spencer and Charlie Hill's Redemption Time, perhaps for Prado. I remember a few years ago, the same combination with the same profile of a horse was short-headed in this particular race. So my eyes were drawn to the combination straight away this year, be it right or wrong.
Right. Look, I'll stick with Creative Belief, the Johnny Murtagh filly. I like her. She done me a big turn. She was actually, I think, the first horse I ever 3-point napped when she won in Gowran Park, and she was as big as 92 at the day. So I'm not going to go again her now. I deserted her I didn't desert her, sorry, at the Curragh. I was too lazy to do my research, and I didn't know she was running. And I watched her 1 win at the Curragh the last. And now she's up £10. But this is a filly that definitely, I think, warrants respect and hopefully can scale a bit higher than Handicap Company. Whether in Royal Ascot, you know what handicaps are like. You need a horse at least probably 10 or 12 pounds. Well in. Unfortunately, she's up 10, but I think she can keep improving. Right, it is a tricky one. We won't dwell. We'll move on so to the Duke of Edinburgh. Right, Mickey D, take the floor. Give us the stats. Another, I suppose, tricky race, but there's a horse I have a real fancy in here, but I'm going to play my cards.
5 favourites in the last 10 years. Either a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old has won 9 out of the last 10. And they have been drawn from 10 to 20. None lower than stall 10 has won in the last 10 years. I came down on 𝗦𝗂𝗏, about 16 to 1. He was 7th last year in the King George Stakes. Since then, he has 4 wins, 2 seconds. And he needed his first run this year in a listed affair in Nottingham, and he was 4th in a good race the last year. And he was doing in York, and he was doing all his best work at the finish. And it seemed that he was just coming to form for a race like tomorrow at 1 4 miles. So that'd be an each way for 𝗦𝗂𝗏, William Buick riding for Roger Charlton.
Joe, where does the value lie?
Well, I'm expecting that this to become very attritional. If they get the rain that they're promising, by the time that 5:35 comes along, this 1.5 miles is going to be more like 2 miles. So on that basis, I'm going to go for Tritonic, Ryan Moore. He's a solid horse. He stays very well. He did go hurdling. He was well fancied for Triumph Hurdle, and he didn't pull up any trees and that. He's still 40, ran okay. But I just think there's more to come on the Flash. And I'm hoping, as I say, if the track turns in his favour, I think he'll take plenty of beat.
Right, good show from Ryan. My fancy here, and it's a pretty strong one for a horse called Sam Cook. I had a small few quid on him today at 12 to 1. He's actually shortening up as we speak. But Hector Crouch in the saddle. I thought this horse definitely has a bit of upside. I thought his run the last day wasn't too bad at all. He'll definitely handle the ground if we do get a look. I suppose you wouldn't want it a ball, but there's not going to get to that no matter what rain comes. But I definitely like Sam Cook tomorrow. I think his last run for me, halfway through the race, I nearly backed him that day, and I thought to myself, he's going to do it today, and he didn't. But I think tomorrow in Ascot, he's primed for it. He's ready. Hector Crouch, and it's my bet of the day. Ralph Beckett having a really, really good time of it. And it's a horse tomorrow that I think could be winning. So, look, he's into 8 to 1 now, so I'm on at a lot bigger prices. So, I don't know if you want to back them when they keep shortening. It doesn't get as attractive. But a good each way about all the same. Right, let's move on to the lucky last. The Palace of Holy Road House, or Rood House, is it? The Palace of Holy Rood House. Right. Were you ever a rude boy, Joe? Give us one.
And that sound like a broken record here now, but it's tough. Like, it's very, very tough.
Joe,
the only bit of advice.
Listen, life is tough. Come on, give us a winner.
Yeah, the only thing I will say is I'd be going for from anything drawn from 16 upwards, and I'll throw a dart at the board, and I'll go for something like Significantly, Clifford Lee, stable in form, won't mind what way the ground goes, has a squeak. That's the way I look at it.
Mickey D, this is it, the lucky last tomorrow. Don't let them bookies off the hook when you have them now, Mickey. Keep them down. We keep the pressure on.
Just cup it and twist a bit when you have the middle eroges. Yeah. Equality, 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗃𝗀𝗃 was my selection in the race. This is only the second run, so there's no trends or stats to follow. Hills and Kieran Schumacher. I just thought the last time again to see if a team's down in, but I'm going on it because of what I saw rather than what the forecasters are saying. So 𝗥𝗲𝗀𝗀𝗃 for Charlie Hills, that he might have a double tomorrow, was my pick in the last race. I think he's a 7 or 8 to 1 bet.
I'll go with the Carol Burks each way significantly. Clifford Lee in the saddle, drawn 24. It's on the right side. It will have to step up, I suppose, but had a nice enough run the last time, albeit the ground will be an unknown.
Copying me now, Paddy.
Huh?
You're copying me now, are you?
I'm
That's the one I
copying
went
now.
for as well.
Yeah, but I have to copy at one stage. You took my 𝗍𝗏𝗀𝗔 did, but anyway, you can have her. He can have her. No, look, just drawn stall 24. Look, frustrating but talented. That's what it reads. But definitely Carol Burke having a good year, and Clifford Lee. It'd be nice to see him get a winner down at Royal Ascot. So around the 8 to 1 each way. I don't know. 𝗏𝗡 is in here as well, boys. Let's just touch on 𝗏𝗡. So the flying filly. Going for, is it 6 in a row? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, she was more dominant in Haydock the last day than she ever was, I thought. Are you familiar with her, Joe? Absolutely. Adrian Nichols trained filly.
Yeah, she's a classy filly. There's no doubt about it. She's like, what's she going for 6 in a row, as you say now? Yeah, she'd have her. She'd have a big.
Pardon? You know what? She's definitely interesting. There's no doubt about it. Like the filly, she just keeps winning, and if you're coming in,
the handicapper usually catches them at some time.
That's it. But her last performance was her best. Right, lads. We won't dwell. Let's hope tomorrow brings another winner or two. Look, not a bad day overall. Joe unlucky in the first. My selection, Roman Empire, at a big price second in the Hampton Court. We had as well, I suppose, Trujan was a non-runner or selection in the Gold Cup. And then I suppose the 𝗂𝗃 got on year winner, and 𝗕𝗏 took a few quid off the bookies. Right. Join us, folks, tomorrow evening again, as we will be previewing Royal Ascot, the final day, the 5th and final day on Saturday, and we'll be joined by another young star. Don't worry, Joe, if you have a winner, I'm going to give you one. Right, go on then. Before I go, the lads, I love this. The degenerates are going to love this. Every time I go to finish up, the boys have more to give. Come on, give it to us, lad.
Yeah, because in 45 minutes time, this one that I gave for today is going to win. So I'm going for 2 in a row now, basically.
Yeah, I'm worried about that, Joe. I'm worried about that, Joe. I tipped that up on the internet 2 hours before you come on and tipped it up. Are you watching my YouTube channel, Joe? You're right. Mickey D, yourself, give us one out winner, Mickey.
I see the one I tipped up last night at 6 to 1 is now 5 to 2. It's running at 7:30. So hopefully we can get a few pounds out of them. The one I looked at for tomorrow was the Martin Maloney Cup in Limerick, 6 o'clock. Sonny Boy Liston for Johnny Murtagh.
Yes.
Third in the Ormond Stakes in Chester, and Aidan O'Brien has a good 3-year-old, all right, but and it has good form behind 𝗏𝗀𝗀𝗃 Ballet. But I never back, even though he's getting the 3-year-old, weight for age allowances, I never back the 3-year-olds against the older horses until the 1st of July. So I'm on Sonny Boy Liston tomorrow evening. I don't know, it's about 3 to 1, 7 to 2. I was looking at the forecast betting, but I don't see any prices out yet.
Yeah, no, a really nice horse. I backed him each way in Chester the last day. And definitely Johnny Murtagh as well, lads. Let's just have a quick word on that. Absolutely having a brilliant time of it. Last year was amazing. He seems to have started this year just as good. Anyway, as always, lads, thanks for joining me. And plus, lads, stay tuned. Tomorrow night's episode, we will have on a superstar young jockey as we had yesterday. We have another interesting kid coming on who's been rapiding through the ranks in England. So really, stay tuned for all that. Mickey D, Joe Value. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thanks, bye.